Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we're talking Love and Marriage Huntsville. You guys know why you're here. Today we're talking because I am recapping Winter, who was formerly on Love and Marriage DC. I am recapping a live that she did yesterday because apparently, allegedly, she showed a check or showed a receipt that Carlos King was only paying $350 an episode. So we got to talk about it and all the things. But what I'm going to firstly do is recap kind of, what she had said in the beginning portion of the video, because she was going through a lot of comments from people in the chat. And so essentially the purpose of her live was to talk about this girls trip, right? And as you know, we only saw part 1 of the girls trip. We were supposed to see part 2 last Saturday. I don't care what anybody says. It was supposed to air. It was being presented as to air because even when Carlos King said the original schedule, it was the Olympics and then it was 3 final episodes back to back to back and then another hiatus. Not an episode here, not an episode there, and everywhere. And you have to, throw whatever against the wall and see when the next episode. No. Right? So, nonetheless, she is saying Winter is basically that, for her, she is seeing that a lot of people are going live. She mentioned Shanita going live. She mentioned Mel going live. She didn't mention Kimmy and Tisha going live. Maybe she didn't know. Also mentioned Sunny going live. And she said usually when that happens amongst the cast is usually people are trying to get in front of something. Usually it would indicate that they've gotten an advanced copy of what the episode is going to be entailing. So nonetheless, if they feel that they're going to get a less than favorable edit about something, they're going to try to go live. They're going to try to spin their side. But basically what Winter indicates is you have to be careful in this, regardless of who it is, whether it's Sunny, whether it's Mel, Shanita, Tisha or Kimmy or whomever, because, ultimately you can get in trouble. Winter basically spilled that she got in trouble before trying to go live, trying to defend herself about some episodes, and basically production told her that she had to take down all of her videos and that they wanted to go with a certain narrative, even if what Winter's story of events or her version of events vindicates her and validates that there was something off in the scene that took place, or there was something that went off in the storyline and it didn't make sense. And so basically, and then some people were like, well, what about the reunion? What about the reunion having an opportunity to, set the record straight and defend yourself? And she said, that's all well and good. But she said, as somebody who's even been to the reunion, she said, if production wants to push a certain narrative, they're going to push it. And you can feel good about yourself. You can feel like you defended yourself and you spoke your truth and all these things and even provided receipts. But if production wants to push a certain narrative that is not favorable to you or doesn't make you look good or is going to have it so that people drag you, that's what they're going to do. So Winter wanted to reiterate as well that she is team nobody. She said she was not at this cast trip and all these things, but she says the reason that Shanita is going live so much is because Shanita sees the backlash. And so there were some fans in the comments who were like, well, no, Mel has a huge fan base. There's a lot of people who are supporting Shanita and this and that. And she's like, if that was the case, why is Shanita doing all these lives? She's doing all these lives because even if she is getting a lot of support, there's too much noise that is being negative, that is dealing with all of the backlash. As you guys know, in my previous video, in talking about Shanita, she did another live in which she was addressing the fact that her kids were asking on whether or not she was a man and that she was going viral on TikTok, apparently, because people were bashing her looks and calling her a man. And transgender and Incredible Hulk and all these things, right? So nonetheless, she feels that, that was part of the reason she went live. She also went live because she basically wanted to, tell her side of things, that basically you're seeing her reaction, but you're not seeing the conversations with Destiny or the conversations with Tisha that led to her reaction. So it looks lopsided. It looks like Shanita is just turning up for no reason. It looks like Shanita is just, going hard hard in the paint for Mel with no context, right? Which either way, if it's a friend, right? But nonetheless, we're not getting the full picture. We're not getting the full scene. And I believe Mel or somebody said this dinner scene was like 3 hours long. So we're obviously not going to see the entire 3 hours of what actually took place, right? And so then Winter said, basically, there's a thing now, you know, you can kind of see the clear lines because it seems that there's two sides, right? If you like Mel or support Mel or whatever, you're going to be Team Shanita no matter what. If you don't like Mel, you're going to drag Shanita and you're going to be mad at her for having somebody there to defend her, right? And so then Winter compared this to herself, in which when she had, you know, things that she needed to address with Ashley, but Ashley brought her friend Alicia, and then it was Winter and Alicia getting into it, and basically Winter flat out told production and was like, listen, I don't have friends here with me, so how is this fair? And I'm not going to be going back and forth with somebody who is not on a contract, who doesn't even have a contract to be on this show. My TV contract is for me to go back and forth with Ashley, not Ashley's friend, right? And so then ultimately Ashley does take over, and then it's her and Ashley going back and forth. But she had to get the producer involved to say, hey, this is not about to be this life. But nonetheless, they do get in trouble, you guys. They do get in trouble. Winter confirmed, which I kind of had this idea, and it explains now. And Winter kind of implied this. The rise of content creators and the rise of bloggers and the rise of this push to also kind of try to discredit other people. Do you notice that, right? And basically Winter attributes this to, she said she thinks, quote unquote, they're trying to level the playing field to make it seem as though Mel does not have as much support or as much influence, but this can severely backfire if people are allegedly being pushed or allegedly being paid to push false narratives, and we have the truth, right? So that is a very dangerous game to play, to have all this rise of all these people who are now all of a sudden anti-Mel, and even people who formerly claimed to be Melimeters now all of a sudden anti-Mel, that once they've reached a certain level of success or whatever, to now push, oh, Mel is this, oh, Mel is that. That's a very dangerous thing to do, right? And that's not reality, right? And here's the thing. You're free to like and dislike who you want. But can we at least speak to the facts? And if we do not have a full scene in context, if we do not have a full scenario in its context, how is it fair to drag somebody like that? And then if they're even going online to defend themselves, you're accusing them of damage control and not taking into account what they said. But basically, Winter said the reason that she knows or she can tell when a scene is cut or when something is chopped and screwed, she can immediately tell when it looks like I had alluded to earlier, the reaction to a particular conversation or whatever, or even in an argument, it doesn't make sense or it seems lopsided. But Winter has said in recent seasons and recent shows now, production has gotten better of slicing these scenes up to where you can't tell anymore that the scene's out of context, that the reaction might be to something that might have happened to something else or in regards to someone else, but spliced in to create a certain conflict, to create a certain narrative, you guys. But nonetheless, and then the conversation turned to this side chick of Martel's, right? Because the whole point of this nonsense argument with Destiny, which is why I didn't feel it was appropriate for her to be back on the show in the first place, was for her to get on camera and to go on this girls trip to talk about Martel's 10-year side chick. Mel has left Martel almost 5 years ago. Who cares? Isn't this show supposed to be about black black millionaires and black excellence, you guys? Why is the show all about side chicks and side dudes and side babies? We don't care. We were supposed to look at this show. I know so many people who love this show season 1, the earlier seasons, when they were out there, actually working on real houses, actually working on real things in the community, and actually having a legitimate comeback group. That was what people tuned in for, because that's not always highlighted. And now the show is a complete and utter bleep show about elevating people who don't deserve the elevation. Make it make sense. Winter is dragging, and I agree with her. Why are we elevating the side chick? Why is the side chick being continuing to be brought up? For some reason, Carlos King has this obsession that even if you've been divorced for years, that we still have to push the same long, drawn-out narrative. This would have never flew on Housewives. Do you know how many housewives have gotten divorced on their shows and their exes aren't a topic of conversation? Maybe because a lot of them move on. A lot of them have other storylines and other things to discuss. A lot of them have other lives. It seems the other cast members do not have a life. And you bring back Destiny, who is obsessed with things from 4, 5, and 6 years ago. So how is that productive in 2024? It doesn't make sense. Nobody cares. Why are you bringing somebody, Letitia, on a girls' trip to talk about old, alleged, whatever nonsense that you and Martell and whoever else conjured up to try to have a go at Mel? Mel is not with Martell anymore. Who cares? If the respectable cheating was true, wouldn't Mel and Tell still be together right now? If you worked out an agreement with this side chick that there needed to be respectable cheating, which sounds ridiculous in itself. If you worked this out, supposedly, wouldn't you still be married? Because you basically are agreeing to an arrangement of sorts. That I can have Martell Monday through Friday, you can have him on the weekend. I get first dibs on the holidays, you get to see him on the day after the holiday. That's how a negotiation works in an arrangement, you guys. There was no such thing, otherwise Mel would still be married to him. But here is the thing. You guys, again, it's like Mel is being punished for doing what people normally do, which is divorce a cheating spouse. It's being punished, and like Winter said that this cheating is being glorified. It is being enhanced into something that it's not. And it's disgusting to see live, on television, because this isn't it. It's like what Mel said, how evil is seen as good and good is seen as evil. And we're supposed to all just accept it. This is not normal behavior. Anyone who gets cheated on across all of reality TV, people have sympathy and empathy for. This new thing where now all of a sudden, because you don't like the person, they don't deserve sympathy or empathy. Because you don't like the person, now you want to elevate a mistress who has done nothing ever since this show has been on the air but run her mouth to several bloggers and try to get attention and try to sell that cheap boutique nonsense. No. She has done nothing with herself. And I don't want to hear, she can't because people will recognize her. Who? Even people who live in Huntsville don't know these people. Just like the Love and Marriage Detroit show. The people only know one couple that are locals. Everyone else they've never heard of before, but they're being presented as movers and shakers, you guys. So again, stop playing in the face of the fans. Then Winter spoke on how people are obsessed with her different exes, how they'll try to send her stuff that either her ex-husband's doing or other people are doing, and she said she doesn't care. She said she wishes them well. She doesn't care if they're, ice skating with Mickey Mouse or Minnie Mouse or whoever. She doesn't care. And essentially, was saying that she respected her ex-husband, who was the NFL player, because he was concerned about losing his clearance, losing his benefits and all the things, because she essentially said that if you lose your job, because somebody mentioned in the comments that, what Trisha's alleged job is for real with the government, and said that, her ex-husband wasn't about to risk that NFL money. And that, if you lose your real day job, if you lose your real 9 to 5, these shows don't care. And they're not going to do anything to help you get it back. All they care about is the ratings and lining their pockets. And Winter said she got upset because she tried to tell them that she was no longer a relationship coach and they cut it out. And she was trying to explain to them the new business ventures and things that she had. And somebody was asking about Maurice's credit repair company and why it wasn't being shown. And she said production always asks you because they want to see a progression of your businesses. But if there's no progression, i.e. it's a fake storyline, there's nothing to progress forward with. There's nothing to continue. So that explains why we don't hear from the Mommy podcast that I believe was last last updated a few years ago. Like there's so many ventures that your faves have done on the show, and you guys call them, entrepreneurs, except for the Instagram page hasn't been updated since 2021. So what business are we talking about, you guys? And then, Winter was trying to figure out, okay, well, what does Ken do? What does he do and all these things? And what does Trisha do? And somebody said in the comments to work out, men. Oh my gosh, you guys are out of order. But, essentially, Winter called out. She called out the fact that the show, there's no cohesiveness. It's all over the place. That's the reason why the ratings are all over the place. She said that the people were not interested, like I said, in Trisha, Ken, and Marquez and Martel. People were not interested in the Dusty Moses and Sunny saga. Nobody cared, and all of the things. And she said that essentially they thought that they could, play in the faces of the audience. They thought they can insult. I always say this, that they thought that they can insult the intelligence of the audience, and that everybody's dumb, and that nobody can put 2 and 2 together, and that people think 4 + 4 is 44. No. So nonetheless, she gave a shout out to content creators, because she said if it wasn't for the content creators who are giving their opinion, who are opening your eyes, who are putting a microscope on the BS that is taking place on the show, you're giving the audience on your platforms the education, you're giving them the truth, you're giving them the real, which results in these blackouts, right? And she said, even Carlos King, you can't even do any, janky numbers. You can't even do any streaming numbers or blame anything, because it doesn't matter. Said she doesn't like how Trisha talks. Said she doesn't know whether or not she has dentures. But basically said, as far as the blackout goes, they thought that they had something to where that could be their way of getting Mel off the show. But what they realized was, when Mel was still making thousands of dollars without the ratings for the show coming in, and without people watching the show and participating in the blackout, they realized they needed to get back to work. And she said, y'all see how quickly they pivoted from the Millimeters hate train storyline, and said essentially, she doesn't do ignorance. She said if anybody has to have Hooked on Phonics required, she doesn't have the patience to try to listen to them or interpret them, you guys. But nonetheless, talked about her business, talked about her, first she said it wasn't factually true about her being a relationship coach, that she also worked in the faith and had her own ministry and everything else, but talked about her women empowerment program, and talked about how she initially had, like, the first day 150 people sign up for $330 something for a yearly fee, and then she said over the next few weeks she had 500 women sign up, which resulted into almost 200,000 people, or $200,000 that were made off of 650 people running this women's program. And so then she promoted her website of all the different programs that she has, and enrichments, enhancement programs that she has. And then she said, listen, she said, this cast, if they're not getting paid at least $5,000 an episode with all of this foolishness that's going on, it's not worth it. So then she gets to the tea, which is why you guys are all here, right? And she says that, she heard a lot about reality TV, the money, all the things. And she said she had issues with negotiation. She said the first offer was 3 digits. And she said it was under $500 an episode, you guys. And her entertainment attorney sent her the paperwork and told her this was not going to happen. This is not worth it to do reality TV. However, she said Carmen and others, remember Carmen from Ready to Love, other people will get on the show and film for free, will film for absolutely nothing in hopes that it can promote their business, right? And then some people were being weird in the comments saying that Winter is trying to destroy or burn bridges or ruin opportunities. And she said, what opportunity? She's like, the show didn't pay her anything. She said she makes more on YouTube. We all are making more on YouTube and making more on our regular 9 to 5s. And so basically somebody, I think, guessed in the comments that it was $350 an episode, and Winter actually said that that's not correct, that it's actually too high of a number. So it is somewhere in the range, from what I gathered, between $99 and $250 an episode was the original offer that Winter received for the show, because she said that she had to take a hiatus from filming until they could get the number up, until they could get the number that was satisfactory in order for her to continue to film episodes, and had to basically quit filming. And so then also said that the cast was promised the opportunity to renegotiate their contracts and request an increase in their per episode pay. However, when contract negotiations came in, they were like, "Oh, what you talking about, Willis?" They said, "No. You're going to stay at whatever flat rate we gave you." So I presume Carlos probably got a pay bump, but nobody else did, right? Because all that money went to go to that LA California closet, you guys. So nonetheless, and now because the ratings are in the toilet and you need something else to supplement that money, is why you are a blogger on YouTube. So nonetheless, there is that. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. What do you think of Winter exposing that her initial contract was her initial offer that caused her to stop filming the show because it was so insulting was less than $350 an episode, you guys? Can you make it make sense? All of this on own? Oh, no. All of this tomfoolery that people are doing on the internet for free and for less than $350 an episode? Oh, no. Not okay. So there is that. And Winter did say that she has the original receipt. She has the original contracts, because she said these people do try to lie on her and try to say that she's exaggerating, she's making things up and all the things, but she has the original contracts as receipts if she needs to pull them out at any point in time if anybody tries her. So there is that. So shout out to Winter again for that amazing live, that amazing tea that she revealed, and we've got your back, girl. So there's that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.